All right, all right, all right. It's been too long since we've had a doom stream, folks. So we gotta have a doom stream. We gotta have a doom stream. So I've been recording the crisis report. This won't be a long one. This will just be a nice get my feet back wet and acclimated. We've had a busy weekend with the whole sports ball and all that, and now we're getting back to normal. But yeah, had to come on back and get a little prepper now on the live stream. So I look forward to the heavily managed numbers that will come out from this and all that would be awesome. But loading up the crisis report right now. When that's all said and done and loaded and good, then we'll get going from there. So uh, hopefully you guys are having a good night. Thought about doing a video earlier about kind of this situation where they're trying to do what they're calling it dynamic pricing. Okay. So what is that? Basically, what they do is they take products. It's a restaurant thing. So you've all seen, like, when you're booking a flight, okay, you book it at certain times and you get the flight for cheaper. You book it on a Tuesday afternoon, is what they say is the best time to book that flight. Okay. So Tuesday afternoon, 3 o'clock, you're booking a flight. And sure enough, it'll be much better than, say, on a Saturday afternoon when they know everybody's booking the flights. So it's kind of this concept of dynamic pricing. Well, they want to do this with food. They want to have you go into, we'll say Wendy's. You go into Wendy's and it's 3 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon and there's no one there. All right, well, the Whopper or the whatever their big burger, let's say the Dave's Double. Okay, I'm just trying to. I think I remember what they have. I haven't eaten a Wendy's in forever, but we'll say a Dave's Double. Okay, and you go in there, and now, it used to be 4.99. Well, now it's 3.99 because you're there getting it on a Sunday afternoon at a time when most people don't order the Dave's Double, right? Um, let's see what else. Let's say it's really busy, okay, and fries are low and they've been kind of tough to come by. And generally for a large fry, you're paying 2.99. Okay, again, I'm trying to recall my relative prices on fast food, but it's all gone up so much that now instead of 2.99 for that large fry, it's 4.75, right? So they want to do this thing called dynamic pricing, and I mean, personally, I think it's going to backfire. I don't think it's going to work. Um, but then again, I mean, it might because people might be like, "Well, gosh, I was going to go there uh, and have lunch, but I'll get more work done, and I'll take a later break, and I'll go there because my meal will be 25% less, right?" So all this is kind of being talked about. It works in other portions of the economy. What will it look like in um, you know fast food restaurant and setting like all that? So um, it is what it is. I personally think it will at some point be it'll happen. They'll do it, you know, and you're just gonna have to get used to it because everything's going up. That's basically what's going on. Everything is going up. And I mean, what are you guys noticing? Are you noticing that everything is going up in price? I do. It's kind of becoming to the point where my wife and I we're in uh, Pennsylvania for sports ball tournament for my daughter, who did very well. But she we stayed at our friends. These are our personal friends who were in our wedding. Very Christian, very conservative. They're farmers, really awesome people. The type of people that, like, if the like super apocalypse were to happen, this would be a potential place we could go, right? Because they're great friends, and he's got a large enough farm. He need all the help he can get, and we could sustain ourselves there. So anyway, that's of course if they would have us. Who knows? But my wife and her friend who was in our wedding, they're best friends in high school. Uh, they're sharing recipes and stuff for like making bread. So we're gonna start to make our own sourdough, and we're getting and going through. I've been talking about this. We're going through all of our preps. I'm trying to redo and reset our preps from a few years ago. The stuff that are in the cans and the bags of rice and the bags of flour and all the stuff that we got when I thought the fit was going to hit the sham, and took all that, and now we're going to start to create food, because it's just, bread, especially because we like bread, we like fresh baked bread, and we can do it. But I mean, you go into a store now, I mean, my god, loaves of bread. So we like Trader Joe's. Okay, like Trader Joe's, I feel like a lot of great organic options. I think you can get good stuff, and you're not breaking the bank. It's like that nice balance where they've got really good stuff, but it's not super expensive, and you can do it there. You can spend $150 and feel like you're walking out with something, right? Kroger, I don't feel that anymore. Other places, but we're going through and we're looking at all the stuff and everything. And I mean, like the yogurt sticks, they used to be a buck 99. Now they're 2.99. The bread and everything else, the bagels used to be $1.99. Now they're 2.99. Everything has gone up by at least a dollar, if not more. And it is what it is. Because they're seeing problems on the front end. They're the materials and everything is getting much more expensive, and in the creation of foods and everything else. And so they gotta do what they gotta do. And that's what a lot of businesses are doing now. It's sad because you can feel it, you can see it. Um Everything around us is going up. I mean, why do you think Bitcoin is at, I mean, what is it at now? 72,000? A year ago it was at 20,000. So um I think the Cloward and Piven is really being pushed by some people in the background, and there is a desire to have everything just kind of collapse in on itself. So I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know if we're just kind of whistling past the graveyard. I don't know. What I do know is that everything is becoming much more expensive. Um, my wife and I went through. I went and did all of our groceries. Now we had our exchange students. We were feeding an extra mouth. But I went through and looked at all of our extra groceries, and our numbers were too much. So we really dialed it back. Said, okay, this is our budget, and as I said earlier, we're trying to do $400, $100 a week. Now I got to admit, it's the 11th, and we're good for about 7 to 10 days, and we've spent $275. So I've got $125 left. I don't know. I mean, it really, I don't know. I don't know if we'll be able to make it the entire um, time, the entire month, and get through it. So, and the other thing is, like, how do people that are on assistance, or um, these kids, you see these TikTok videos. These kids are going, I'm paying $1,400 a month for a studio apartment in downtown, and I make $2,200 a month, and that doesn't include my car note, that doesn't include my utilities, it doesn't include all that stuff. I mean, you're sitting there and you're looking at everything and you're just like, how on God's green earth are any of them making it? And I don't think many of them are. I think a lot of them are taking out more credit card debt, more copious amounts of debt, and other things like that. So, and by the way, also today, as will be covered on the crisis report, which is loading as we speak. In fact, there it is. Um, there is it is March 11th, and a year ago was when the whole bank thing went kaplooey, and Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank New York, all of them started to really get shaky. Well, now that emergency money that the Fed was doing isn't there anymore. So um, you can very well see major problems in the next coming days because that emergency backstop is not there anymore. Um, I don't know. All I can say is Katie bar the door. It's gonna be a wild one. We're getting there. I mean, does it feel like more things are just kind of going off the rails? Is it just me? Because it feels like that to me. It feels like we're accelerating. It feels like things are getting much more quicker. The quickening is happening, and I think that's the biggest problem. It's just spiraling out of control. So I don't know. Vermont Prepper says I watch Crisis Report when I get up at 4 a.m. Wow. If you are in Vermont, that's we need to get you more sleep, buddy. My wife, she she's a sleeper, and the daylight savings really screwed with her, and she went to sleep. She took a nap, quote unquote, at about 6 o'clock. I just made dinner too. I was like, all right, I'll put something in the fridge. You take a nap. Thinking 7:30. She got up at 10 o'clock. So, oh man. But anyway, yeah, it feels like there's a quickening going on. It feels like everything is getting more intense and more problematic and more expensive and more out of control and everything. And um, we're doing everything in our family to do what we have to do. We're cycling through preps and we're trying to make our food bill much less because it's a way we can create some extra money on our finances monthly. So I mean, if it really came down to it, we could take our kids out of the parochial school they're in and put them into public and all that kind of stuff because the 3 kids at a good parochial school is expensive. Um, but I don't. I want my kids, having Bible class. I want my kids learning Spanish. I want my kids playing sports and learning yes sir and no sir and know all the cordial and polite stuff that they're getting at their wonderful school that I just don't think is going to be there in a public setting. So, Bad Wolf 66 says that Haiti is going to HE double hockey sticks. You are correct. That place is a mess. They're saying that the reports of cannibalism are exacerbated. They're exaggerated. They're not true. Now I can tell you this: when people starve, they will do anything. Um, I don't know what's going on with all that. Oh my gosh, they gave me the old yeller on the crisis report. I got to do a review. You hear that, roaming prepper? I got to submit the request. They gave me an old yeller on something. I've got no clue what. I didn't say any of the trigger words or nothing. So what people don't know what the old yeller is. The old yeller is when you monetize your video, you go through and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna put ads on there, which they don't really do anymore, but they look through it and they say, uh-oh, he talked about this subject, which is bad, or he talked about that. And I generally don't get them, because with the crisis report, I just kind of go down the middle and fly right through it, and maybe it's the cannibalism thing. I did mention that, but yeah, it doesn't really happen as much on live streams, but anyway, yeah, they gave me the old yeller, so whatever. More straight normal stuff. That just means the video won't make any money, but I mean, honestly, those that have been here, the videos don't really make much money anymore anyway. So, which would be a perfect segue to joining me as a member here, but I'm not going to do that. Links in the description. You get the point. Um, yeah, as SRD said, neighbors will be eaten. They will be. So, careful with all that. And oh, okay, I got a funny story as we get ready. The crisis report is going to be on here at 11:20, so we got a few minutes. I had to remove a skunk today from my back area where my dog was. I get this frantic call from my wife, and this skunk had managed his way into our yard and really couldn't get out. So I was like, okay, what's going on? She described the situation. So our idiot dog, instead of being like a smart, intelligent pup, he's trained to chase things out of the yard, but generally they don't have the power to fight back, especially with their butt. And he goes up rolling at this thing, and he starts getting popped in the face with the spray, right? And he evidently, from what my wife described, he got it 5 times, and the idiot just kept going back for more. And so I don't know. I told her, I said, just sit back, I'll get home. And so she had to go, and she had sports ball with the kids and went there. So I got there, and of course, the first thing I thought was, she go get the 22, right, and just go get a little small game action going. Um, and I told her that, and she was like, "No, don't do it." These, total animal lover. So I got home, and this thing was along our fence line, and there's a gate about 15, 20 yards up. And so this branch had fallen in the back, and I basically just took twigs, and about 20 feet away from this thing, kept chucking twigs as it managed its way up along the fence line. Took Seamus, our pig, and chucked a couple big old handfuls of grain out into the yard. So he was occupied. And then our dog, he was basically uh, demoralized first and foremost, but second of all, I had some pepperoni, and I was just chucked him out a bunch there, so he was dealing with that. And then Stinky McGee, as we call the skunk, we got him, kept chucking twigs up at him, and young, looks like a young one. Went up, managed his way along the fence, and then went out the gate without any animals escaping. So just another day. But yeah, I was telling my wife the whole time, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna, if I don't get this thing out in 15 minutes, I'm going in, and we're gonna dispatch it the old fashioned way. But yeah, Stinky McGee took the hint. He took the twigs with good stride, and went up the side of the fence line, went out the gate, closed the gate up as the dog was finishing his pepperoni and the pig was finishing his grain, and had a funny story to tell. So anyway, all right, folks, I thought I'd just leave on that. You've got the crisis report starting here in about a minute. Please join us there. It is demonetized as it stands right now, so all the support will help it. Please, all the likes and all that kind of stuff are always helpful. So please join us there. And as always, God bless. Stack, stock, stick to the plan. Keep your head on swivel and your powder dry. And I appreciate you being here. What are you noticing? What is going up that is in your area? Because it's everything here, but maybe you'll mention something that other people are noticing, like some specified thing that is going up in your area, and other people are noticing it too, and you thought you're the only one. Tell me what's going on. What's going up in price besides the usual stuff like food and gasoline and all that stuff. And we will see you on the next one. Thanks for stopping by PrepperNow.